Welcome back to part two. Today we're going to continue our conversation about cash flow. So remember from part one, we talked about cash flow is basically the flow of money that's coming in or your income and going out or your expenses in your business. So everyone, of course, wants the money coming in to be greater than the money that has to go out because, of course, that's a win-win for us. But there are times when the money that comes in is less than the money that has to go out. And we have to plan for those times as business owners because it's not always going to be winning, winning, winning. There are going to be times that you got to get tires, you got to get the oil changes, you got to do all the maintenance and pay the insurance and things like that to keep your business going. So we got to spend money to make money. So understanding your cash flow will help you during those down times to continue to operate as a profitable business. Now, based on the example, I hope we all did our homework. So let's make sure we did it. If you didn't do your homework, please raise your hand. Oh, great job. No hands raised. So that means we all did our homework. So we're ready to dive into this. Now, based off of my numbers, I came with industry averages, and we're going to use the mid-range of 9,000 miles a month at $2.15 a mile. So based off of that, we have a income coming in of $19,350 for the month. That's based off the loads that we have. And based off of the operating expenses, we have for driver pay, fuel costs, truck and tractor payments, maintenance and repairs, any benefits to the drivers, insurance, tolls, permits and licenses. Our total monthly expense is equal to $20,340. And so based off of the income, $19,350, and the expenses, $20,340, that means we're operating at a loss of $990 now per month based off of these numbers. Now remember that these numbers are not always going to be the same. Fuel fluctuates, and right now fuel is high, so that's going to be a big expense. And driver wages, of course, if you're paying by mile, that's going to vary because the more miles you get, the more driver pay, but you're also getting more money coming in. So remember that these things fluctuate and your numbers change. That's why it's important to look at your cash flow on a weekly basis. Now, one thing that we do want to understand is what are those numbers that we can control and what numbers will fluctuate. Now, we know truck payments and trailer payments typically are the same month to month on that, and insurance, unless we add new drivers and bring on things. So we need to be cautious of these things. So the things that we can control, we need to make sure that we're controlling them so that they will provide us with a win. Those things like fuel costs and maintenance, we need to be prepared for those things to happen because we know they're coming up and we know it's going to happen. So although we came back with a monthly loss, we're operating at a monthly loss, that does not mean that every month you're going to be losing and for the weekly breakdown that you're going to lose. So this is very important for carriers to understand because this is one of the biggest struggles and why trucking companies end up going out of business. So unless you take control over those costs and negotiate better rates and increase your mileage, these numbers will stay the same. But as the owner of the company, you got to know what you're doing. And you got to know that any and everything is negotiable. So you got to go to the drawing board and understand when and where to negotiate. So our next assignment, we're going to come back next week and we're going to talk about cash flow and setting weekly targets so that we can increase our income, decrease our expenses, and then our numbers will flip where on a monthly basis, instead of we're operating at a negative or a loss, that we'll be operating in a profit area where now we're able to set up set aside accounts or escrows so that we can plan for maintenance and these different things that happens on the road so that we won't lose these great drivers that we have, and we can continue to operate our business because we plan for these things. We've done a lot of preventative things. So good job on doing the homework and getting a better picture of how your business is operating. And next week, we're going to continue down this path of cash flow, and we're going to talk about setting up a set-aside system from every load that you deliver, and how that set-aside system is going to allow you to save for all of these different expenses that you have and to be able to grow your company at the same time. So if you like the information that we're providing, please like, share, and subscribe to our pages. And remember, every mile matters, every test counts. And this is your Trucking and Testing Tuesday. I'm Bridget Taylor. Visit us at tailormadetruckerservice.com and tailormadetestingservice.com, or call us at 980-299-1572, and we'll be happy to provide our services to your company. Have a great day. Bye-bye. This rig is going dark.